Most people are unaware that all history facts points to now. Peace, my brothers and sisters who have arrived here on this channel. In this video, I did a compilation of facts and historical events that are pointing towards the year 2023. And the majority of people, they are completely clueless about all of this, converging to now, converging to the moment in which we are right now, at any moment right now, because we are already on the 7th month of the year 2023. So in this video, I'm going to show you that since Genesis until the Second World War, and even further, that all of those facts are pointing to now. So starting here with Genesis. Genesis, we know the following fact. 2023 is the year 6000 since the creation of the world. Also, 2030 is the 6000 years since the fall of mankind. So we know that there were at least 7 years in the Garden of Eden before the fall of mankind, and we can confirm that in the book of Jubilees. So if we count from Genesis all the way until now, we reach 6,000 years since the creation of the world and 5993 years since the fall of mankind. And also the Jewish calendar from the Karaite tribe, they are also saying that the year 2023 is the year 5993, only 7 years remaining to the 6,000 years. Why this is relevant for us? Because we know that God worked for 6 days and rested on the 7th day. And also, 1 day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. So 6 days for God is 6,000 years. He must rest on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath, which is the 7th millennium, which is the millennium reign of Christ. So in the year 6,000, there must be a rest for the earth, for God, and that aligns to be the millennium of Christ 7 years from now, perfectly 2030. So Genesis is pointing to 2023. What else? Abraham. Abraham is the father of the Jews. He created the nations of the Jews with his sons. So he left his parents' lands to the promised land that God showed him when he was 75 years old. So Abraham, the father of the Jews, left his parents' homeland towards the promised land when he was 75 years old. And why this is relevant for us and points to 2023? Because Israel, it is the remaining nation that came from Abraham, is 75 years old right now in 2023 since their independence in May 14, 1948. So you can see that Abraham is also pointing to 2023, just like Israel is pointing to 2023 right now. What else? We have Exodus. The Exodus is pointing to 2023 as well, because the Israelites, they entered the promised land in the year 1408 before Christ. So 1408 before Christ, that's when Joshua and Caleb entered the promised land and crossed the Jordan towards the promised land. That is precisely 3,430 years ago, and that is a precise number from the Bible. That is 7 times a cycle of 7 times 70. So the Jews, they were disobedient, and their punishment was multiplied by 7 and then plus 7. So they had a punishment of 70 years multiplied by 7, and then because they didn't comply and didn't obey, it was 490 years, which is 7 times 70 multiplied by 7. So perfectly multiplying their punishment since they entered the promised land in 1408 before Christ, we get to 2023, and Caleb, he inherits Hebron, the land of the Gentiles there in the promised land, in 1401 before Christ, which leads us to 2030 from this same counting. So we have the 7 years gap here, and we have the both dates, 2023, 2030. My fellow brother from God a Minute, he explained this situation here with the Exodus better than I did right now. So Exodus pointing to 2023. What else? We have also Daniel, the prophecy of Daniel pointing to 2023, because the prophecy of Daniel also leads to Jesus. So Daniel prophecy leads to Jesus dying in the year 30 AD. So the year 0030, the beginning of this millennium, the millennium here. So in the year 30 AD, Jesus died, and that points to 2030 to be the second coming of Christ, because he said that he, as the Good Samaritan, would be out for 2 days, and 2 days in God's time is 2,000 years. So Jesus died in 30 AD, and he should return in 2030. That with the prophecy of Daniel leading to Jesus, that leads to 2023, because the rapture must happen in 2023 for there to be a gap of 7 years of tribulation, just like the Bible also tells us that there will be. Because Daniel prophecy of the 70 weeks also has this last week of Daniel, 1 week of 7 years, prophesied for the Jews to withstand this tribulation time with the Antichrist, the pseudo-Christ, to rule them for a period of time there. So Daniel points to Jesus, that is also pointing to 2023. What else? We have the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages pointing to 2023, because the Dome of the Rock, the construction of the Dome of the Rock, leads to 2023 if you add 1,335 years from its construction there in 688 AD. So this one I'm going to show you here in Wikipedia, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So here on Wikipedia we have Dome of the Rock, and then going down here it is written the following here. Okay. Al-Sutui, born in 1445, holds that the commencement of the construction was year 688. Now, doing a basic math here, 688 plus 1,335 years leads to 2023, and 1,335 years is blessed are those that reach 1,335. So this number here is the number for those that are blessed to reach that time frame from the abomination that causes desolation. So if we consider the Dome of the Rock an abomination that causes desolation, and we add 1,335 years, we reach 2023 since its construction. So very interesting here that the Dark Ages there on the year 688 AD also leads to 2023. What else? The Middle Ages also points to 2023, because we had a sultan called Suleiman that rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem in 1540 AD. And if we add 69 weeks of years prophetically, just like Daniel had 70 weeks of Daniel, but the Antichrist is supposed to come for the last week of 7 years. So 69 prophetically weeks of 7 years equals 483 years. If we add 483 years to 1540 AD, we also reach 2023. And I'm also going to show you guys here this in Wikipedia. So the walls of Jerusalem. The Sultan Suleiman I ordered the ruins of the city to be rebuilt. The work took some 4 years between 1537 and 1541. So this was the betweenish circa of the years that it was constructed. So 1540 is in the middle there, and if we add 483 years, we reach also 2023, approaching here the limit for this prophecy as well. So the Middle Ages of the year 1540 also pointing to 2023. And also we have both world wars pointing to 2023, because both world wars had celestial signs that were very significant in that time, and also consequences for Israel, as it has been happening for the previous 7 years. So we know that we had celestial events and the World War, the first and the second one, both created, um, opened the place, opened the area for the Jews to construct their nation there in the Middle East. So this has been also happening for the previous 7 years, all pointing to 2023 to be the year where they will have this peace covenant from the prophecy of Daniel. And to confirm this, what are we seeing here for this year 2023? So all the things that we are seeing here in the year 2023, also for the next 7 years, that completely shows us that they have everything to be the 7 years of tribulation. We are basically seeing the sudden destruction because they already prepared a narrative for creating this nuclear disaster. So they have this sudden destruction possibility. They already created this great deception because you have never heard so much about UFOs and aliens as we are hearing right now. Even the Pentagon, they are already discovering this UFO agenda. So the great deception to hide the fact that the rapture has happened. The world religion, they already prepared there in the United Arab Emirates because they created a temple, a Jewish temple with a Catholic church and also the synagogue from the Islamic religion in one place to prepare the world for this world religion. They are preparing this world digital currency to be released there in August, backed by gold from the nations that basically are the nations that have this ideology to persecute Christians. So the world digital currency is there to be ready in August of this year, 2023. WHO already released the system for the mark of the beast, which will be a health passport for the next problem that it will create in order to grab the whole world to receive this mark, this ID system for the mark of the beast in their hand or forehead. And we also have this 7 years covenant that they are about to sign in September, which is basically what we have shown in the previous video. So I've shown you all of this. I did step by step in the previous video this slide here for you guys, showing that we had the signs, the 7 years of signs for the previous 7 years, doing things for the Jews also. Major things happened for the Jews, especially in 2017. Then we had the war, we had the religion, we had the world digital currency, the passport, and now they are going to confirm this agenda for 2030 agenda for 7 more years. So many nations will confirm a covenant for 7 years, just like Daniel says in the September 2023. So everything is pointing to 2023 being the year of the rapture and 2030 being the year of the second coming. And between them, these 7 years of tribulation being happening there for the Jews, for the world, for judgment, and also for them to repent from their ways and recognize Jesus Christ or Yahushua HaMashiach as their Messiah. That's why I also said in the previous video, which with this thumbnail, it can only be here, because they're literally seeing everything falls into place perfectly at this time, at this year, and for the next 7 years as well. It is too much coincidence if this all is just coincidence, because we have been expecting this for the previous 7 years, studying the Bible, studying the science, studying everything that was happening back then, and we are seeing the convergence for now. So most people have no clue about this. All history is pointing to now. All history is showing that this year, 2023, has got to be the year of the rapture of the church, and the next 7 years has got to be the years of tribulation, because I have I've been thinking that it is very unlikely, very, very unlikely that something similar as it is happening right now happens a few years from now, in order for it to fulfill the prophecy that everything is already fulfilling. It is very hard for you to grab all of these facts that you are seeing in history and take this to another year, because they are all pointing to this year. This won't happen again, and if they do, that means that for us, basically most of our history would be completely wrong or incorrect. So unless something as major as this happens, we can be sure that everything is pointing to 2023. So just to confirm this even further, they are saying here since 2020 that this is a time for the great reset, reset the world, reset the finances of the world, reset the governments to bring this world government, and also that the great narrative that they will create, many narratives to explain the rapture, will be the sequel to the great reset. So they have everything in place for the great reset that will happen with the rapture and the following events of the sudden destruction that they will bring in order to hide the rapture, and also the great narrative that they will bring to lie and deceive the whole world with their agenda. Everything is falling into place perfectly, perfectly. And if all of this wasn't enough, the previous year, 2022, we had basically a lot of nations in the United Nations saying peace and security. And you know that when they say peace and security, that means sudden destruction is about to happen. So listen to this quick video that I did last year about this.
Related to peace and security, the United Nations to maintain international peace and security.
For maintaining peace and security.
Of peace and security. For upholding international peace and security.
Its ongoing military aggressions threaten not only the peace and security of Ukraine, but that of Europe and of the international community. In support of international peace and security,
regional peace and stability, and universal security for all.
In front of such a grave threat to international peace and security.
Its primary responsibility for maintenance of international peace and security.
For the maintenance of international peace and security.
That of the maintenance of international peace and security.
For the maintenance of international peace and security.
And the world is clearly choosing the side of peace and security.
So last year, 2022, they already said it. Peace and security, peace and security. So sudden destruction will happen, and most of the world will not be ready for this because they are unaware of these facts. They don't believe in the Bible. They are not ready for Jesus. They are digging their own grave here on this earth because they don't believe, they don't receive, they are not saved, and they will not escape this sudden destruction that will happen as soon as the rapture of the church, of the blessed church of God, happens. And I hope that you that are listening to this video, are watching this video, are ready and getting ready even more so, because we are seeing the last of the last days, the last of the last time frames for us. And just to remind you, we are right now, at this moment that I'm doing this video for you, inside this huge time frame of possibility for the rapture to happen, among these 2 weeks of high watch dates of the Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks, happening as we speak, starting there on the full moon all the way until the new moon that will start the 4th month, the month of the door. So we are within this time frame, and the next one will be in late August. However, I will take a look at the dates that our brothers and sisters who are watching, following the Jewish calendar, that I believe is 1 month ahead of us. They are watching for the late July time frame and early August, so I will be watching with them. And if it passes, don't lose your faith, because we have a high possibility in late August with the true calendar corrected by the stars, the moon and the sun. So I'll be leaving here. I hope that you are blessed by this. I hope that you are getting ready to meet your Lord in the air. I hope that you warn those that you love, that have ears to hear what I'm saying here, what the world and the historical facts are saying. And I hope that we meet very soon in the air with this perfect time of rescue for us from Jesus to his bride from this earth that is getting darker and darker by the day. And before I finish here, for you guys that stayed until here, I just want to show you guys that I had been waiting for a long time, And this is a channel, is my second channel that was blocked. I don't have access anymore to it because YouTube blocked my access, my email. And on this video that I did 2 years ago, I was doing in Portuguese. I was pointing to another channel of mine that had about 30,000 subscribers, and some of the videos that I made in Portuguese reached over 200,000 views here. And I was talking precisely about this, so it's very interesting because I remembered when I saw it again, and I saw that the countings that we were doing matched the counting that we did right now, because Wikipedia changed the time frames here from 2,000 years ago until today. So this is the walls of Jerusalem, and you see here that now it's 1537 all the way until 1541, and back then 2,000 years ago, two years ago actually, when I was doing this video, it was 1535 and 1538. So we were counting based on that. That's why we thought that 2021 was the rapture date, and now they corrected to 1541. So we are still within this time frame that is pointing to 2023, at most 2024, at least this prophecy, but the rest always points to 2023. So that's what I wanted to say to you guys. Blessed are you guys that stayed here. God bless each and every one of you, because we are leaving very, very soon. I hope that anytime now in June, in July, perhaps at most August, but I cannot see the church being here in September when they confirm this 7 years peace covenant for another 7 years of the 2030 agenda. Maranatha, I hope to see you guys very, very soon in the kingdom of our beloved God, in Jesus Christ. Amen. Maranatha.